I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I do want to just point out that this NFL football player, Aaron Rodgers, is continuing to spread straight up baseless COVID disinformation. And the guy is a role model to so many people. When I was a kid, I read this book by Charles Barkley, a former basketball player, about how he really shouldn't be a role model. He behaves in certain ways because he knows he is, as a guy who's in sports, but that really these people should not be role models. And there was truth to that in the 90s. It's so much more true today. Here is Aaron Rodgers now on the Pat McAfee show saying that the COVID fact checks about do vaccines work and stuff like that, they're all done by big pharma, so you can't trust any of them.
I will say I don't believe that hatred and fear and name calling and any of this stuff is going to get us out of this pandemic. It's going to be love and connection and actually conversation and debate and information sharing, and not information sharing that's fact checked by the same individuals who are, running the pharmaceutical industry.
Whoa. He wants information shared that is not being fact checked. That is fascinating, right?
Oh,
which is a lot of the, when you look into some of those connections, it is interesting to see some of the connections between fact checkers and boards and
this guy thinks he's absolutely brilliant, guys. He thinks he's figured out the ultimate truth, and he even delivers it in this tone where he's not taking pleasure, but we can't have fact checks from big pharma. The vaccine, of which there have been, is it hundreds of millions, or have we gotten to 1 billion doses given? The vaccines have been studied in randomized controlled trials in all sorts of different countries by people not associated with big pharma. In the journals, they disclose their conflicts of interest. Studies on do masks work? They've been randomized control, et cetera, et cetera. And this guy was almost the permanent Jeopardy host, and he's going around spreading this stuff. As a reminder, here is the same guy, Aaron Rodgers, admitting he took medical advice from Joe Rogan when he got COVID. And even Pat McAfee couldn't contain his laughter when that was mentioned.
I consulted with a now good friend of mine, Joe Rogan.
Right.
After he got COVID, and I've been doing a lot of the stuff that he recommended in his podcasts and, on the phone to me. And I'm going to have the best immunity possible now.
Yeah. So that was that. Also, more recently, he said, Aaron Rodgers said that there were people watching the Green Bay Packers and rooting against the Green Bay Packers only because of his vaccination status, which actually may be true, but they're not like the normal football fans. There's no doubt that there are people who had no clue who Aaron Rodgers was. They found out he was saying very strange things about COVID, and they were rooting for him to lose. That's not wrong. I think he's right about that.
There were a ton of people tuning in, rooting against us for one reason and one reason only. It's because of, my vaccination status and them wanting to see us lose so they could pile on and enjoy and revel in the fact that, my vaccination status was, some sort of reason why we haven't had success in the playoffs or whatever it might be, some sort of correlation.
Yeah. Now, I didn't hear that once. So it's, there's always this self-importance to these guys, even just the way that he talks. There's this air of self-importance. It's true that there are some people who wanted to see Aaron Rodgers lose because they think he's a prick. But I mean, that's the long and short of it. I have not heard anyone say that the reason the Green Bay Packers didn't do better is because he's unvaccinated. It doesn't make any sense. I've not heard anyone say that. It doesn't really pass the sniff test that anybody would say that. And the really tragic thing here is, we laugh when Aaron Rodgers says, well, the advice I got is from Joe Rogan. And even Pat McAfee, who seems to go with a lot of the things Rodgers says, is like, oh, God. We laugh at that. But there's so many people that don't listen to doctors. And they don't listen to epidemiologists, and they don't listen to public health officials. They listen to Joe Rogan. And if Aaron Rodgers wants to start giving advice about COVID treatment, they'll listen to Aaron Rodgers as well. And that's the real tragedy of what it is that is going on here. Let me know your thoughts. Were you rooting for Aaron Rodgers to lose because of his vaccine status? You can let me know on Twitter, where you can find me at dpacman. And you can also find me on Instagram at david.pacman. We have a great Friday show for you today. We will be on the ground at the Trump rally in Conroe, Texas tomorrow. Hope you'll be following that live stream. Stay with us. Quick break and right back. One of our sponsors today is Blue Chew, a unique online service delivering the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. And they're giving my audience an entire month's supply for free. So if you think you could benefit from an extra boost of confidence when it's time, all you have to do is take a short quiz on their website. A licensed doctor approves your prescription. The medication comes straight to your home within days in a discreet package. No driving around to the doctor's office or the pharmacy. No waiting around. No awkward conversations with your doctor. All of Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA. The entire process is just a few clicks. Go to bluechew.com. The link is underneath this video. They'll give you an entire month's supply for free when you use the promo code PACMAN. All you have to do is pay $5 shipping.